Well, Joe Biden has made a decision of whether or not he's going to stay in the race. The New York Times is reporting more on that breaking news in a minute. But first, yesterday, NBC News reported that Biden and his family had pre-planned family gathering at Camp David. There, NBC reported that President Biden is expected to discuss the future of his re-election campaign with his family, like I said, at Camp David on Sunday. That was today, following a nationally televised debate that did not go as well as the president would have liked. Now, the party has not at all said anything like Biden should step down. The party has been 100% behind him. Every single elected official, every single party leader has been behind him, and many of his supporters have been behind him too. It's not to say that people have not been calling on him to step down. In fact, the New York Times, the New Yorker, the Atlantic City Journal have all called on him to step down. Even people who worked for the Obama administration, the Pod Save America guys, also called for him to step down. Watch this.
Okay, that was the debate. Look, we always want to be honest with you guys. I don't think we need to, you don't listen to us for us to sugarcoat anything. I think it was a fucking disaster. I think it was like maybe the worst debate I've ever seen in my entire life. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Donald Trump is just a despicable human being. He should not be president. We have to do literally everything we possibly can to make sure he is not president again. And that is why it was so fucking awful, because Joe Biden just in every single way failed at that debate.
It kind of pains me to say this today, but I think President Biden needs to step down and be replaced.
You do?
If we want to defeat Donald Trump in November, I absolutely think that. And I think Biden's team saw it coming.
I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that.
For their part, the Biden campaign, though they did not allude directly to these guys, they did come out with a campaign email that said the following. If you're like me, you're getting texts or calls from folks about the state of the race after Thursday. Maybe it was your panel aunt, your MAGA uncle, or some self-important podcasters. So many people are thinking that that was referring to the Pod Save America guys. And CNN is reporting that Democrats are fearing a replacement scenario just as much as they're afraid of keeping Biden, which makes sense. I mean, Biden had a bad night, but he is tested. He's a proven leader. He has a record to run on. And he also has 100% name ID, and he has the power of incumbency. So removing him and replacing him with anyone else is a non-starter. But that doesn't feel like it's going to happen because, as I said earlier, the New York Times came out with a report today that said Biden's family is telling him to keep fighting as they huddled at Camp David, as NBC previously reported. Quote, President Biden's family is urging him to stay in the race and keep fighting despite last week's disastrous debate performance, even as some members of his clan privately expressed exasperation at how he was prepared for the event by his staff. People close to the situation said on Sunday, which was today, they're kind of, and this article goes into ways in which they feel like they can move forward. I want to tell those to you. That could be, quote, a news conference or sit-down interviews to defend himself and change the narrative, but nothing has been decided yet. The campaign has scheduled what could be a critical call with national fundraisers for Monday to calm nerves and take temperatures. Notably, one of the strongest voices telling Joe Biden to stay in the race is Hunter Biden, who has had to fight for himself in the media and against Republican attacks. So that's really interesting, too. This goes on to say Hunter wants Americans to see the version of his father that he knows, scrappy and in command of the facts, rather than what we all saw on Thursday. Then there's a lot of blame game in this article, but the takeaway here is that Joe Biden's in this race. Joe Biden is going to make it to November. It is incumbent on any Democrat and anyone on the fence to make sure that we know what the stakes are. This is about democracy versus authoritarianism. Authoritarianism, I know, kind of is like a big word and it's thrown around a lot. Don't really understand what that means. What it means is that we no longer get to choose our leader. There is one person in power who controls the military, controls the way that we make laws, and elections effectively stop. I know that sounds extreme, but Donald Trump has promised as much if he were to get power again. Joe Biden may be old, he may talk slowly, he may walk funny, but he is a good man with a good heart, and he wants to help our country. And he's the only thing standing between us and Donald Trump. So we have to do everything we can to make sure that he makes it through the finish line. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit like. For more pro-democracy content, go ahead and hit subscribe on the Occupy Democrats channel. And if you'd like to see more of me, a link to my stuff is in the description.